Good morning, everyone. C-Dot Awareness here. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for art thou with me. Hope everyone had a blessed day yesterday. I hope everyone has a blessed day today. Man, oh man, oh man. What to talk about, what to talk about, what to talk about. Crazy, crazy world we live in, people. But what I want to talk about is getting yourself prepared for what's coming. Once again, me and my wife went through all of our stuff and made sure we had everything written down and stocked up and what we need, what we don't need. Getting prepared for anything. And I just realized something. Does anyone know how to flush a toilet without actually flushing it? Do you know how to put down the water? That's an important thing to know. Or you have to go outside to go, number 2. Do you know how far down you have to dig in the ground and then cover it up so it doesn't contaminate anything? A lot of people are understanding what that meaning is right there, because our feces and our urine are very toxic if you just leave it around. Because of the food we eat. The processed stuff that people eat. We don't eat natural things like we're supposed to, so our fecal matter is totally different. I know this is a weird video, but it's also important. You got to get yourself multiple buckets of water. Or you can get this one thing that you surround your toilet rim with, and then you push down and then it flushes. It's technically an unclogger, but it also can flush. The problem with that is your septic tank might get overflowed then. So you have to go to critical things and dig holes and all that and cover them up and all that stuff. But I don't think people are realizing how important that is. Because when people start urinating and leaving fecal matter all over the place, it contaminates everything around it. Plus, if flies get on it and all that kind of stuff, flies go everywhere. So you might be hunting one day, or fishing one day, or growing your vegetables one day, and there might be flies all around, and they could be carrying fecal matter on them. So your whole thing's contaminated then. The toilet paper pandemic in 2020 was something I'd never seen before in my life. That was insanity. People were so worried about running out of toilet paper when we have showers. All you really need to do technically is put some water in your hand, or squat down, spray water in there, and just wipe it off, and then wash your hands afterwards. You gotta do what you gotta do. I had to do that a couple times when I did my, not survival classes, but when I went in the wilderness and went out to survive for a couple days. I had to do that. I had to find a little creek, fill up my pot with water. You can use warm water, cold water, it doesn't really matter. Warm water will actually be a little bit better. So you're not putting ice cold water on your hands and all that. You can boil it a little bit, but it cleans it just as well, if not better. That's something that you got to think about when the grid goes down and the power goes out. A lot of people don't live in neighborhoods where there's a backup generator and the pump system will still keep going. So you'll have water all around and all that. So those people are fine. But I'm talking about the people that don't have that extra stuff. So you got to take drastic measures. Technically, it's going to be gross at first, but you'll get used to it. It's survival, people. That's all it comes down to. That's an important thing. Your urine, find a spot. You know, I understand females, it's a little bit harder because you got to squat and everything. You can't stand up like guys can. They make things you can put this little device on you and you can pee standing up as a female now. Somewhat genius. You know, I give it up to them. It's easier to go to the bathroom peeing as a man than it is a woman standing up, but they have things like that, so stock up on those. All you really need to do is rinse it out, put bleach on it, you're good to go next time. That was another thing I want to bring up. Cleaning materials, bleach, all-purpose spray, apple cider vinegar, regular vinegar, you know, alcohol wipes, disinfective sprays. You know, you guys got to get stocked up on that stuff too. Cleanliness is a very important thing to survive. A very important thing. I have these things, they're like washcloths. They have alloy on them. They wipe the dirt off you. They make you feel clean. You know, if the power goes out a couple days, that helps out. Then I have alcohol pads that I can rub down on around my whole body. You don't hit certain areas because it might hurt a little bit, but the washcloths do a good job. We're stocked up on those. But cleanliness is a very important thing for survival because you don't want to get any infections during these times. I'm not saying this just to say this. I'm saying this because I care about my fellow human beings. I want you guys to survive what's coming. I don't want anyone to die a gruesome death. I don't care how evil you are. I don't want that to happen to anyone. It's not right that people wish death upon other people. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you have done. You don't wish death upon anyone. It's just wrong. But being clean during certain times is a very important thing. Doing dishes. You know, I have a big pot that I can put my dishes in, boil it up, all the water, dip my dishes in, wash them. You know, stocked up on Dawn soap. You got to get stocked up on stuff. I understand it takes a lot. There's a thing called a Dollar Tree nowadays. Go there and get what you need to get. Get the little Dawn soaps. You know that Dawn, you don't need a lot of Dawn to make bubbles and get clean. Hand sanitizer, shampoos, little deodorants, all that little stuff, Dollar Tree. Spend $50, you can get a good amount of stuff. But that's important stuff to do. You want to be clean. You don't want to get any infections anywhere during survival times. Like when you're in the woods, I'll give an example. When I was in the middle of nowhere on the Appalachian Mountain, I went off the trail just to do a little exploring, you know. I cut myself here and there. Well, imagine if I didn't have alcohol pads with me. Imagine if I didn't have any of that I can just clean the infection right away. You know, I bring Neosporin with me. Vaseline is a wonderful survival tool also. You know, if your lips get chapped, you can put Vaseline on. Your hands get dried out. Vaseline. Fire. You know, petroleum. That's what Vaseline is. Burns pretty good. You know, it's many more purposes, but you have to be clean. In my pack I showed in the other videos, I have all that in there. Just little things of it. Because you never know. You never know when it's going to start. You never know when the first time that, oh my gosh, the toilet's not flushing, so what do I do? Or, oh my gosh, I feel so dirty, I need to wipe myself off with something. Or, oh my gosh, I have this big cut on my hand or my leg, how am I going to clean it? That is very important in today's world. Look, if you don't have the room for it, buy little containers and just put certain stuff in them. And put them in the closet, put them in your shed, put them in your garage, put them in your attic, your basement, wherever you could fit a little container at, and mark them. Mark the dates on them and everything like that. You know, being a prepper, I like to call it survivalist, it takes a certain person to do that. It takes a certain person to understand that, all right, in this situation, what do I need? You know, the other week, we realized that we needed to get stocked up on little candles. I'm like, oh my gosh, where are we going to get them? Where are we going to get them? I'm like, oh wait, there's a Dollar Tree right down the store. Let me just get those long candle wicks. They might burn a little quicker, but let me get those long candles, and I got 50 of them for $50. You know, you can't beat that kind of stuff. My wife's like, what are we going to do with them? Well, you need to put them in a cool, not a dark room, but a cool area. So I just chose to put them in the container that we have underneath our house with stuff, and I put it underneath there. It's an insulated box. It's a survival box. You could put it in the ground and everything, you'll be good. But that's what I did. So we're good on that. You know, fire starting stuff, medical stuff, clothes, needle and thread. Do you know how to sew if there's a hole in your pants? Do you know how to do all that? You know, this is all simple stuff that you can do now before it gets worse. You know, next year is gonna make it or break it for the world. Next year is gonna be a make it or break it kind of world. And it's either you start getting your stuff together now, or you risk it all and figure out it later. I don't like living like that. I don't like preparing like that. No, thank you. I'm good. But you also have to understand that it's just not you. If you have a family, if you have children, you know, you got to think about doubling it, tripling it, quadrupling the stuff that you have. I know how to make a fire with friction. A lot of people don't know how to do that, unfortunately. I'm one of the people that know how to do that. I learned it takes time. You can't get frustrated with it, but it takes time. But once you get it, you get it. It's second nature then. I should start making videos about that kind of stuff. But you need to do it on your own. You need to figure it out on your own, because you can't be told what to do about everything. I'm the type of person I have to be hands-on with it to understand it. But these things are important. Make a list today. Just make a list today on the first thing that you should get. What's important to you right now, other than technology and all that? What's important to you? Well, water's important. Staying hydrated. All right, maybe I should get some water purification pills or water filtration stuff. You know, the survival straw, that's an amazing product right there. I carry that with me everywhere I go to, because you never know, if you're on the side of the road, you run out of water, right there's a little creek, you can just drink right out of it. I like to boil it before anything, but drastic times come for drastic measures, and you deal with the consequences later. But you still got to be smart about it. This isn't something just to be playing around with. This is very important. You know, toiletry, medical, extra food. You know, there's no... Get a big bag of 20-pound rice. I get them on Amazon. Jasmine rice. I get 20 pounds of it. Every other month, I get it stocked up. You know, that little stuff like that, $30. That's all it is for a big one. And 20 pounds of rice will last you forever, if you know how to do it right. I get sardines. I get tuna. I have so much tuna and sardines and herring and all this kind of stuff that my cabinets are filled with it. Canned goods are filled with it. You know, having extra little bit of that. Those big things of beans. Those big can of beans. I get stocked up on those. You know, I have a family of 4 that live with us right now. But you got to think about when other people come. And that's another thing I want to talk about. How are you going to... If other people come, I'm the type of person that I want to help people. I'm going to be wary of people in the situation because you have to. Unfortunately, you have to. You can't let a stranger come in your home and then the stranger takes everything you got. The first thing I'm going to ask someone is, what do you have that can help me, and what do I have to help you? And if they say, oh, I have nothing, you better go find something. You better go do something to help not just yourself, but to help me and my family also. This isn't a one-way deal. If you have something to provide for me, I have something to provide for you. Plain and simple. That's how that goes. That's how survival goes, people. I'm not saying don't trust anybody. Just be weary of people, because people aren't going to know how to act. When I got trained to survive, the guy that trained me blindfolded me from the house all the way to where we were at. I would say it was probably a 3-hour drive or so in the middle of nowhere. He guided me through the woods. He made sure I didn't fall. I kept walking. The only thing I was able to see were my feet. That was it. Couldn't see nothing else. He wanted me to see my feet just so I know that, all right, I need to step over this, step over that, step over this, step over that. And he sat me down. And he said, I have a timer set on your watch that I had. And when the timer goes off, take off the blindfold. I would say it was probably 45 minutes to an hour until that alarm went off. Granted, this was probably 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. We left around 2, 3 a.m. So this is how you train yourself. He had a tracker in my pack I didn't know about, because if I stayed out there too long, he would have to come and get me. Find a person like that. Find a person that will train you in that kind of situation. And let me tell you, you will find yourself by yourself in the middle of nowhere with what God created us. And it's one of the best feelings in the world. But it's also a scary feeling because, you know, it's very dark in the middle of nowhere. And if you don't have a fire, creepy things come out at night. But right when the alarm went off, took off my blindfold, the first thing I did was took a couple deep breaths. Relax myself. I'm in the middle of nowhere by myself. No one's around me. I have this amount of stuff in my pack. Let me just sit for a sec and breathe. I did my breath, 10 deep breaths, relaxed myself. Then I went and looked in the pack that he left me. I had a breakfast bar, a high protein breakfast bar, and then a couple things of beef jerky. I'm like, okay, this will probably last me probably 2 days or so. Remember, you can survive without food for a while. You can't survive without water. So my next thing was, which direction am I facing? Do you know how to tell time by just looking at the sun? Do you know how to read a compass? Do you know how to make a compass? Those are important aspects right there that you need to learn. So I figured out it was around 7:30, 8 o'clock around this time then. So I knew what direction I was in. So the next thing I did was listen for water. All you need to do, it's weird, put your hands around your ears like this and make them like Dumbo. And your hearing will expand a little bit more. So I listened for water. Had no map, had no nothing. I just knew that north and south, there's a creek. So, I headed west. It was so long ago. I headed west towards what I thought sounded like water was a little stream. So I was correct. I headed west. Then I had to go east to find a road. So for 2 days, what I did was gathered as much water as possible, stayed along water as long as possible, and then when I figured out, all right, I might be close to a road, let me head east now. I stayed just south most of the time. And then I went east and I was like, all right, today's the day where I'm going to get myself out. This is day 6. I had to do certain things to survive. You know, I used to dip tobacco back in the day. What I figured out is inside of the tree, you make it very fine, like tobacco fine, and you put it in your lip, and that's what I did. Psychologically, that helps. I ate worms. They're high in protein. You got to get out all that dirt and poop. You know, all you need to do is hold one end and then go to the other end, just squeeze it all out. Eat it raw. Got to get over the texture, but it was high in protein, so that helped me a lot. Caught little minnows, you know, put them over the fire a little bit. Had some grasshoppers. Caught myself a fish. You know, I have 550 cord on my wrist at all times that has fishing line and a hook in it. I have little sinker weights in my pack. You know, you those little things get you to where you need to go. What I'm trying to say is push yourself to the limit on making sure that you survive. That's important that you survive this. Because then you can start rebuilding after the chaos has calmed down. But getting your life together like it's going to be the end of the world and you get yourself prepared for it. Why not have that extra hand up on people? Why not have that extra hand up for yourself? Oh my gosh, there's no hot shower, there's no this, there's no that, there's no this. Oh wait, I have this stuff to hold me over until things get back. Electric gets turned back on. We have water again, all this. What I'm trying to tell everyone, just get prepared. Things are going to happen. Every day something comes out. Something more comes out. Some more shit happens. It's part of their plan to dominate and kill us. And why not have that upper hand to survive it? This isn't a joke. This is a situation to where your life's on the line. And I don't care what side you're on. They're going to try to kill all of us. They don't care if you're with them or not with them. They're going to get rid of you. And that's simply to put it. I just want people to be prepared. I want to see people survive. Because when we do go through this situation to where power goes down, cell phones don't work, this, that, are you just going to turn straight chaos just like everyone else is going to be? Or are you going to take those steps to be like, you know what? We're good. We're going to go through some stuff, but we're going to be good overall. This isn't a joke anymore. Things are going to get worse. It was planned that way. But you can help yourself and your family by getting prepared. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. And if nothing happens, at least you have all that stuff that you can start using. Go on camping trips. Go tell your family, hey, let's go to a cabin in the middle of nowhere. We have all these supplies that we can use. Let's go to use those supplies. There's nothing wrong with that. I'd rather have it than not have it. That's my philosophy with all this. I have a good amount of Bibles because you never know. You never know when you need to hand them out. When someone's just like, oh my gosh, I can't even read my Bible anymore. Here you go. I got little Bibles. Here you go. The New Testament, Old Testament, all of it together. I have them. That's all that matters. So, just get prepared. I beg of you, I pray for you to get prepared. Because this isn't a joke. This is going to be something that we're not ready for. The majority of this country is not ready for what's coming. And maybe 10% of people are prepared for it. And mentally and spiritually, we're ready for it because we knew it was going to happen. We're not crazy. We're survivals. We're survivalists. We're Christians. We understand it was bound to happen. But we don't want it to happen. No one does, truly. But just get prepared out there. The times right now, you need to have that extra over everyone else. So God bless you all. Watch your six and be safe out there.